Good morning, Dudu. Indeed, emergency service personnel still on the ground here, the fire trucks still on the scene as well, and the blaze has been completely contained at this point. Now it is about, the emergency or the forensic services identifying the source of the incident as well as the cause, and just earlier on, officials moving from one floor to the other, sifting through the scene to either just identify, where the fire may have started, but also just checking that there isn't anyone who's still hurt, injured, or perhaps even fatalities. As we know, 2 people have died, 4 people are in hospital being attended to, and the ward councillor earlier on of this area just explaining that now it's about assisting the people who lived in this building in terms of, from a humanitarian standpoint, assisting them with the food, obviously food and a home and a shelter, because they've lost everything at this point. We also heard earlier on from the city manager, Mr. Floyd Brink, just explaining there that yes, 1 person has been arrested and they are continuing with investigations. But I do have with me the Mayor of Johannesburg, Mr. Kabelo Gwamanda, to give us more. Mr. Mayor, you've been informed about, you've been briefed about what's happened here this morning. From your side, what happens now?
So what happens now, as I think the city manager would have indicated, that the owners of the building or alleged owners of the building have lost a court case where they did not produce sufficient evidence to prove that they are indeed the owners of the building. And it's problematic because then accountability is critical, because we also need to ensure that the safety standards of each building is met in order to avoid such tragedies that we encounter. Fortunately, the city has taken an approach to install cameras that have assisted in alerting the authorities about the fire. But we know that we have about 160 affected individuals. We are currently working on relocating them to a temporary emergency accommodation. But that will have to be done in collaboration with national government, because then they would have to assist us financially in terms of the facilities that would need to allocate for them. The screening process will be undertaken once we have secured facilities where we'll relocate them to. But this incident, and the administrative team have assured me of the fact that we have undertaken a process whereby we, through our safer city strategy, will identify non-compliant buildings. And in those non-compliant buildings, we'll then be able to make a determination as to the course of action that the city is going to take. But we are adamant that many of these buildings need to be expropriated by the city, because not only are they using our services, but they are not paying. And they are putting the lives of their tenants at risk as well, so that we can repurpose them and find better use, so that we can minimize the constant challenges of buildings going up in flames in the city.
Now, Mayor, we know that 1 person has been arrested, a woman, charged with arson. This suggests foul play. Do we know any more details about this particular arrest?
So at this point we do not have details, but it is alleged that it was as a result of a domestic dispute. They can, and I'm not sure if the lady got to a point where she felt that she needs to set the whole place on fire. But the brigadier is here to give us additional details on that part, so that we can get clarity and a proper understanding as to what would warrant an act of that nature, especially understanding the fact that the building is a confined space and that there are people, human beings in fact, that are cohabiting, and it would put their lives at risk for them to react in that manner. So as much as we would like to confirm with the viewers what the contributing factor was to the arsony, at this point we don't have the details until we get an affidavit that states clearly what was the reasoning behind.
And just a last one, Mayor, what happens to now the people who've been left destitute, they without homes, what happens to them?
As I've indicated, we are in direct communication with national government. We are going to take them to a temporary emergency area, whereby we will house them and we will screen them, and those that qualify for the city to render support for them, we will render all the support. Those that are undocumented will have to follow the proper procedure in line with the Home Affairs. Yes.
Thank you very much for that, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dudu, you heard it there from the Mayor of Johannesburg, Mr. Kabelo Gwamanda, there explaining that means and measures will be taken to accommodate the over 160 people who've been left homeless following the blaze this morning. And that's the Mayor there explaining that the woman who's been arrested, charged with arson, there may have been a domestic dispute, but investigations are continuing.